Hello, my friends. 𝗵𝗲𝗍 here. I hope you're doing really well and have had an awesome day. In this video, I'm sharing with you 3 essential elements of a compelling content strategy that are often overlooked. A lot of people overlook these things. And when I share them with you, you'll be able to identify yourself in this and the spectrum that you sit in. So we can sit somewhere in the spectrum of doing this really well, and some things we can look at and say, okay, I could be doing that a little bit well, I can dial that up a little bit, and I'm always looking for areas in people's businesses where we can plug the gaps. We can make iterations in the pipeline of client attraction to make sure that you're getting your content out there to the people that really will resonate with it and love it, and the right people will move along the journey to work with you. So welcome those of you who are here live. So great to see you here. I know that you probably realize the importance of creating content when it comes to getting clients. I think most people know that sharing educational, valuable content is one of the most effective ways to get quality clients consistently. But so many people are struggling to get any type of tangible, consistent, reliable result from their content. Like having people actually reach out to you, private message you, email you back, respond to your content, reach out, book into your calendar, ask you about your program or service. And if you don't have an effective content strategy, you can waste so much time. And I speak to a lot of people that are frustrated because their content isn't leading to clients. And so when I have a look at what they're doing, I've looked at quite a few of them this week, I can see exactly why. And so I want to share these strategies with you. These 3 elements of the strategy with you, because pretty much everything, or 95% of what I'm seeing, people aren't following something within this strategy. There's things that are missing. Some people have a strategy, but it's not working. Other people don't have a strategy at all. They're just kind of posting sporadically, sending emails randomly, but without a content strategy, then you're just kind of hoping, right? You're guessing, you're hoping, and you can't really rely on that and build a solid, sustainable business on that. You want your content strategy to have an actual impact where you know that it's going to work, that you can test and measure and know exactly what needs to fix if it's not working. So we don't want to just be producing content for the sake of producing content, but we want to be creating content that has people ask us to work together. So pop a Y for yes if you want a content strategy that leads to clients. Just pop a Y for yes if that's you. And those of you that are here live, actually just pop a hashtag live if you're here live. I always love to know who is here with me, joining me in this, and pop a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. I really appreciate knowing that you're here, and please make comments as we go so this can be interactive. So let's dig in to find out really what makes an effective content strategy, client attraction content strategy, in order to get more clients. Welcome those of you that are here. If you want your content to get more clients, it requires having a strategy that's compelling and that moves people along client journey. If you don't have a content strategy in place, and I've got some slides that I'll share with you just to kind of bring this to life. Let me just go back for a second. The 3 most overlooked essential elements of a compelling content strategy. I want to talk about the challenge if you don't have a compelling content strategy. The challenge if you don't is that you have pieces. So you have standalone posts, but you don't have a whole. You have pieces, but not a whole. And what that looks like when it comes to content is that maybe you're posting kind of random things that are coming to your mind, but because you haven't mapped out the strategy, it doesn't fit into an overarching plan. So your content is designed, client attraction content is designed to lead people along the journey to work with you. So we've got to start at the final point of them actually working with you and think, what do I need to educate them on? What are the best topics that I can pick to overcome any resistance that they have, overcome any beliefs that are limiting them, educate them on why I'm different to other people. What's your unique selling proposition, your USP? How do you help them solve their problems, what's the process look like? So there's a whole heap of things that we need to do that goes into the strategy. And if it's just kind of posting here and there, oh, here's some tips, here's some motivational quotes, here's some things that you want to post about, but there's no strategy, it means that you can't rely on that to actually get clients. So it's more of a, if you think about moving people, I call it the ABCD. We've got attract, we've got build trust, we've got convert into clients, and then we've got deliver. So ABCD. So if you're not attracting clients consistently and building trust with them and converting them into clients and then delivering great service, you'll find that your content strategy is just too sporadic. It's too random. It also means that you're only posting when you feel inspired, as opposed to posting because you've set up this strategy and you're following it. So you've got a plan, you know what you're doing. Your plan is a series of content posts that leads people along a journey strategically, rather than just waiting till you feel the inspiration. We don't want to post just when we feel like it, or we'll miss out on a whole heap of opportunities. And it also means that you end up confusing your audience, because you're just posting random topics as opposed to knowing exactly the core messages you need to get across, and everything that needs to go into that strategy to get the clients. So the opportunity that you have, if you have a compelling content strategy, is that you really stop stressing about what to share, and you finally feel on top of your content because it's planned. You've got a plan, you know what you're doing, and you wake up in the morning and you execute the plan. You've done all the thinking, you've sat there and done all the thinking in one session. You've blocked out thinking time, rather than every single day thinking about what to post and posting it, thinking about what to post the next day and posting it. That is exhausting. So for those of you that are feeling tired and sick of producing a whole heap of content that doesn't get you clients, we want to make sure your strategy allows time to really think about all the different pieces that you need to put out there in order for people to take that journey towards you. So it really does reduce stress. It's like having a simple system like paint by numbers. You just put the colors in, you just follow your plan. You create the plan in advance. You create the plan when you're in planning mode and when you've got, blocked out time, and then you just follow the system. And it means you can finally start getting clients from your content, which is what we want, right? We don't want our content to just be out there just for content's sake, just for posting's sake, right? We actually want it to lead to clients, because if your content is not leading to clients, I would question the effectiveness of your content. Content is good content, effective content leads people to action. That's what it does. There's so much noise out there. You don't want to just get lost in the noise and just be caught up and not get cut through. When people take action as a result of your content, they might take an action step just to do something a bit differently in their life. They might take an action step just to engage with you. They might take an action step to join your email list, join your Facebook group, and then jump in a strategy session. We're moving people along the journey, but we want to educate people that, hey, every time I look at this person's post, I'm inspired to do something different in my life. And it could just be a very small action like engaging. What's your favorite tip? But we always want to invite people to actually move, not just absorb, not just be entertained. Otherwise, there's a lot of information out there. You want to be a person in the marketplace where people think of you and they think of action. They think of actually moving and getting their goals, improving the quality of their life. So let's have a look at these 3 content strategy essential elements. The first one is diversity. If you're taking notes, write this down. Diversity. We've got to have variety in our posts. We can't just post the same all the time. A lot of people are posting the same thing because they feel comfortable. They feel that it's in their comfort zone. I was talking to a lady today about it, and she said, I ran a webinar, which was just basically me talking, and then I ran a workshop, and I felt that the workshop was more stressful, but the webinar was more uncomfortable. And I said, well, staring at a lens is a very uncomfortable thing until you get used to it, until it becomes natural. So both of them felt uncomfortable. It's kind of like that choose your hard thing. I used to say this when I was a weight loss coach. Okay, being overweight is hard. Doing lunges and eating veggies and saying no to those foods is hard. So pick your hard. They're both hard, or maybe they're both. Maybe one is going to get you a long-term result that's a little bit of pain and in that moment, but a long-term result. So we want to not run our business just on our feelings. I don't feel like it, or that feels uncomfortable, because everything feels uncomfortable until it doesn't, until it's natural. And until we get used to some of these things, like speaking on video, like running events. For me, it took dozens of events to feel comfortable. I still feel a level of discomfort running events, and I've run hundreds. So we don't always want to go for those things where oh, I feel safe, because I feel safe can be, I just post written posts. I never jump on video. I never make offers to my list, and we just stay small. So it's important we have a variety of content and not just focus on the one that we like, because if we just focus on the one we like, we're missing like 75% of our audience. If we like writing, but half of our audience likes video, we're missing out on all those people. If we like educating, but your audience wants more stories and more like enlightenment or edutainment, we're missing out on all those people that like that style. So there's got to be variety. Remember, your audience is made up of many, many different types of people. I know we've been told for years in the marketing world, write to one person, speak to one person. I get it. I get why people teach people this. But the reality is we're never just speaking to one person. We are speaking to lots of different people. That's the reality. So I spent ages just honing my ideal client, just one person, this personality, this preference. And the fact is, in my community of clients, there are different learning styles. There's different preferences. Some people like watching videos. Some people like reading blogs. So I do it all, because I don't want anyone to miss out on the information. So we don't want to miss half of our audience by just speaking to people in a way that we like to be spoken to, right? We want to make sure that we're taking an audience-centric approach, a client-centric approach, not avoiding certain things because they feel uncomfortable, when our audience actually needs, a lot of our audience actually needs that. So diversity is huge. There are 20 different content types that myself and my clients use that I recommend, 20 different ones, and each has a different purpose, because different types of content has a different purpose. If you think of the ABCD process, some posts are to attract, engage, some posts are to build trust and nurture and invite more interaction, some posts are to convert, some posts are delivery posts for our clients. So you got to think about the stage of the journey that people are on and what's the purpose of that post. And there are 5 different categories of content that I recommend. So I've got this all embedded into the strategy that I use with my clients, and everybody's so different. Like, we use a strategy, but we personalize it for that person. But I want to give you the 5 different categories so you can write these down to think about. So the first one is engage. Number 1, engage. So posts that are maybe in your Facebook group where we're inviting people to engage. We're asking a question. We're looking for an answer. Number 2, educate. How-to content, belief-shifting content, getting people, like hot tips, getting people thinking, imparting education. Number 3, edutain. So we're still entertaining, we're still educating, but we're doing it from an entertaining point of view. It might be a story, it might be something a little bit more funny or a bit more personal, a bit more vulnerable. It might be a bit more inspirational. Number 4 is enlighten. So enlighten is where we maybe bring them behind the scenes. We show them stuff. It's more of a showing rather than telling. So enlighten, showing them but into your world, into like case studies, client stories, things like that. And number 5 is exchange content. This is where we ask for an exchange. We've just given all this content that's valuable, giving. And then the exchange content, once you've built that trust and rapport, the exchange content is where you're asking. And so in our community, it's not give, ask. It's give, ask. So 4 gives before an ask, roughly. Like, it's never going to work out perfectly, but we typically do, we rotate between these posts before we make an offer. So that is diversity, number 1. Number 2, the second most overlooked but essential element to an effective, compelling content strategy is consistency. And you've probably heard this before. You probably know that it's important, but are you doing it? Do you have a strategy that you're sticking to consistently? If you don't, you'll probably find that you get to the end of the week and you haven't really posted much, or you've posted, but you haven't really put a lot of thought into it. You haven't crafted it. It hasn't been designed to lead people along that journey. So you've either not been consistent enough, you're being more sporadic. You might only be emailing your list every few weeks. You might be just posting when you've got a more quiet season, and then maybe you disappear for a few months or a few weeks, and then when you come back, you've lost a lot of that traction, and then you don't get the engagement. So when you're consistent, when you have a system, it actually takes a lot of relief. It takes a lot of the pressure away, and it brings a lot of relief. So for example, my system is every single week I do a Facebook Live. Every single week that's transcribed. My assistant puts it up onto YouTube, onto my blog, on my website, creates an email and sends that out to my community. We break it up into little sections and we create social media from it. So that's a system. It's part of the strategy and it's consistent. I've been doing that for many years. So just knowing that that's the machine. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to go, I haven't posted, quick, let's scramble, let's put something together. I know that that's always happening every single week. It's like a well-oiled machine. And when I decided to commit to doing one meaty, valuable piece of content every week, then leveraging it out, that was such a game changer for me. It means that your website's always kept fresh, because for people to find you in Google, if they search a search term that you will show up with a keyword, you want to show Google, there's 2 things that Google looks for: recency and frequency. So you need to be recent, posting things recently on your website, and frequent. If someone, same with social media, if someone comes to your Instagram and there's nothing this year, or they go to your Facebook page and you haven't posted for 3 months, it looks like you're not on top of things. It gives an impression, even at a subconscious level. But when people see that you're consistent, they rely on it. There's a trust. People think, she's not an amateur. Amateur, by the way, means you are doing it as a hobby. You're not doing it as a profession. You're doing it as a pastime, meaning you don't get paid for it. If you want to position yourself as a professional, you want to have consistency. People trust you more. They're like, she's in this, she's not going anywhere. And they rely on you. And then number 3, the third thing you need. So we've got number 1, diversity. Number 2, consistency. Number 3, intentionality. Intentionality. This is a big one. We need to make sure every piece of content is intentional. A common mistake I see people make is that they post without a purpose. And if I say, what's the purpose of that post? They can't tell me. What's the purpose? What's the point? A lot of people post without really thinking why. Like, is this designed to engage people? Is this designed to be shared? Is this designed for people to actually reach out to me, send me a message. Is this designed for people to download a resource? What is the point? We need to think about that endpoint and work backwards. So if you think about your last 3 to 5 posts, what was the purpose of them? Do you know the purpose of them? Was it to overcome a belief? Was it to build more connection? Was it to show a bit more of your personal side, you know, that relatability? Your content will struggle to sign clients if you haven't got an intentional plan where each content piece fits as part of your overarching strategy. If your content doesn't have a purpose, it really will struggle to achieve the goal of attracting clients consistently. There are a lot of things people need to know that you need to share with them before they're willing to invest money in you, especially high ticket offers, coaching programs. And we want to make sure that you cover all those different points. We don't try to overcome every single limiting belief and restriction, resistance piece in one piece of content. We don't tell all our stories in one post. We tell them over a series of posts. That's why we need the strategy. So for example, let's say you've got a health coaching package, and people consuming your content, they might think that they don't need a package because they can just find a diet online. So one of your pieces of content might be to tackle that belief. And you would talk about how whoever wrote that diet doesn't actually know you. They don't know you. They're just a random stranger. So they don't know your lifestyle, your individual preferences, your allergies, your nutritional needs. So you would just do one post on that. That's one belief that we overcome. And so we use that strategy to be very intentional, to show them how you can help them solve their problem. People are often giving away so much value in their content, but they're not strategically being intentional to actually make offers. And then there are other people constantly, constantly promoting without giving any value. So we want to find that sweet spot. We don't want to be always promoting. We don't want to be always just giving free tips away and never asking. There's a balance. There's a balance to achieve where you're giving lots of valuable content, but you're also making offers as well. Otherwise, you'll end up broke. So a content journey leads your audience from one step to the next, and it exists as a connected function rather than disconnected pieces. So those are the 3 overlooked elements of a compelling content strategy. I hope you found that really helpful. I'd love to know which one of those kind of stood out to you the most. Just pop in the comments. Which one do you think, oh, I need to make sure that I'm doing that, or that one, great reminder. I need to make sure that I'm more consistent. Which one kind of was your favorite? Pop it in the comments. Pop any other comments in the comments. I really appreciate it. I will always reply to all of that, the comments, and put any questions that you've got here. If you want help with this, if you want help building out a content strategy that's personalized for you and that that you know will get you clients, because basically when people work with me, I become expert eyes that filter everything. You filter everything through. So I'm looking at all of your content. I've just launched a new program called the Client Attraction Intensive. It's a 30-day intensive program. So some people, they just want a 30-day really deep dive where I'm looking at everything that you're doing and making over everything that you're doing and making sure it converts. So remember I talked about the A, B, C, D, the convert piece, the attract piece, and the convert piece is where most people struggle, particularly women. Most women I work with, they're good at building trust. They're good at the B, building trust. They're good at the D, the delivery. But the A and the C, the attracting, getting people in the door, getting new eyeballs, and converting them into paid clients, that's where they get stuck. And so if that's you, I mean, I help people with all of those 4. But if you're struggling to get the clients in and convert them into paying, consistent clients, not just any clients, but amazing clients, just reach out to me. Just send me a DM with the word intensive, and I'll send you back the details. You can check it out. It's a really up close and personal program with me, where I'm looking at everything that you're doing for 30 days, and I'm in your corner, making sure that it converts to clients, making sure that your content is actually doing its job and getting you amazing clients. So I hope that's been helpful, team. Please drop what your favorite thing is. And thank you for being here. Until I see you again, keep showing up, keep shining, keep sharing, because the world is waiting for your words. Big love, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.